Hi everyone. So I might start, I might shake. I'm hooked up on caffeine and adrenaline, so bear with me on that one. As you can tell by the way I'm dressed, I'm from South London, so check for your wallets on your phone on the way out the door. And then there is the other stereotype of, yes, I live with my mum. Well, she lives with me officially, and it's my basement, so I can do what I want in there. So today's talk is probably going to be one of the most boring talks you've ever gone to, but it's all informational. So what kind of discusses when people say hacker, cybersecurity, pen tester, you get these amazing things of the films. I believe one of my friends is doing a talk on later. Of, you're sitting in a basement, you've got your hoodie up, you've got loads of caffeine. I generally stick with alcohol. I'm approaching 40. And the reality is that that's not true. So we're going to walk through what the expectations are, what the reality is, and then if you're still kind of interested in the field, if you're not in it already, some steps to kind of progress that other people don't exactly say. They go through the usual do X, Y, Z. I've got a little bit a different spin on it. So, already walked through myself. So I'm a senior consultant at KPMG. Fortunately, there are a few of us around, so getting nods, which is scary because Monday morning will be interesting. Okay, so demystifying hacking. So when we've got the expectations, we think we're going to do the cool stuff. We're going to be popping shells. We're going to be dumping the databases. All the things that we read in the newspaper. We think that that is what hackers do. Finding cross-site scripting, going to take over your account and start buying roadblocks. I hope that's right to the young people in the room. We're going to become a domain admin in 15 minutes and take down your entire business. We're going to find 0 days people haven't heard of and get paid lots of money. The scary thing is my brother does do that. So you get a bit of imposter syndrome when you're listening to your favourite podcast and you hear your brother's name dropped. You're like, oh, for Christ's sake, I can't even get an XSS. And of course, just world domination. If you've watched any film, Swordfish is my favourite, by the way. But the reality is, we spend a lot of time in meetings. My colleagues will agree with that one. We do a hell of a lot of documentation. Note-taking. If you're not taking notes, it's not worth your salt. That's it. The engagement part is actually very small of what we do. Then we've got to do the actual report writing, my favourite thing in the world to do. This is where I procrastinate terribly, and I'm up at 10 o'clock and I need to get this report out because I should have done it 5 hours ago. Then there's the continuous training. It just never stops. Today's news, tomorrow's fish paper. It's exactly like that. And then, of course, there's the stress, the anxiety, and the imposter syndrome. If you're really interested in imposter syndrome, I'd have a talk on that, but it's up on YouTube, so let me know after and I'll share that with you. So scoping. So in my first job, I just popped up and someone would go, "There's this web app, crack on, you've got 5 days and 2 days to do the report," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." Then as you get further in the careers and you get more involved in the entire process, and one of the first bits is the scoping. So this is like the what, the when, and the how, basically. So at this point, we've got to define the clear objectives from the client. What you're doing this test for is it for compliancy reasons. So you're concerned about a particular aspect of this. The same things you've called the talk before. We're looking at data privacy. We want to make sure that, an attacker can't get everybody's personal data and go, "Oh, I know where this person lives. I've got photos of them." That might be a clearer objective of their thing. Then we've got the scope and the boundaries. So sometimes you are just in this little pigeonhole there. If any of you have ever looked at bug bounty programs, it's where you've got free tool to go test the company's web applications or hardware, you'll see a basic script there. If you've never seen someone, it'll you can only test these functions, you can't test this, you can't do a DDoS attacks because we don't want to see how we're going to stand up. It's kind of the rules of engagement. And if we come outside of this, well, then we're in big trouble. Under the scoping and the documents aside, they're legal documentations. It gives us, the legal right to test the product. So a lot of the time when I'm doing an engagement, I go, I've got no authorization yet. And they go, just crack on, you can take the email. No, because people wouldn't be that mean. But if you took down their website and they turn around and go, well, where's the signed document? Like, we put on the email, well, that's not a legal, authorization. Or, then technically you are hacking. Would you get the Computer Misuse Act involved? Because I wasn't authorized to test it. Wherever you put that on the email, you could get into some legal wranglings. And this is how in-depth it becomes of documentation. It's just not, I'm going to go hack this website and have a lot of fun. And then you talk about the risk management. That's kind of like, the rules of engagement, make sure that we're using rate limiting. So if we're using a tool, it's just not hammering the door, going, let me in. We're going to do it slow, because if you go too fast, the server could fall over. And then if it's a production website, and I'm not saying I've done this, and you take down the travel agency before Christmas, things can get a bit, difficult. I also said, it's a legal and it's contractual requirement. It's to cover ourselves and the business that we work for. And then we tailor our methodology. Some companies, some clients will go, we want to test you in this sort of manner. Or, what is our own methodology? And they'll go, well, can we not do that? Can we more focus on this? And then how they want to measure success. For us, success is different to the client. Success for us is, world domination, take everything over. For them, they might deem success as the complete opposite of that. Yeah. Then we get to the engagement, which I've not put anything for because it's not the whole point of the talk. But just a quick one. You're not going to always find it. It's the worst thing in the world. In my first 3 months, I was hardly finding anything. Then I started panicking. And I reached out to my manager. I'm like, dude, I don't think I can do this job. And he's like, why? And I walked through, I've not found an XSS. I've not taken over the web server. What do I do? He's laughed and went, Sam, that's going to be most of your job here. Don't worry, that just happens. You'll get somebody and they'll dump a database off a website on their first day. I just might not get that for 2 years. It's just the way it goes, unfortunately. And this is the fun type bit. So now we've hit the engagement. And one of the most important things we've got to do is note taking. Because if we're not taking notes, when it comes to the report, we are. The amount of times I've not taken appropriate note taking, I've now lost access to the web application because they go, this is only your testing window. And I'm like, I ain't got a screenshot of that issue. How do I? Then I have to go tell the client, and then I don't look very professional. So note taking was one of the key aspects of an engagement. And the important thing is, we take evidence whether it works or it didn't. Because then we can prove to the client, this is what we tested. It wasn't what's just here in a report. I actually done the work. It's especially important when you get to a report and go, I had 2 findings. You'll get some clients that will go, that's cool, we weren't expecting you to find much. And you'll get another client going, well, we spent 10 grand. I will want the 10-page report. And you have to go, well, here's all my notes. These are all the things that I run. Here's proof that I spent 5 days actually doing my job. The other bit is for, reducibility, which they say, verification. So then, we've found an issue. We've got to document how we've done that. So when we write into a report and hand over to the client, they can reproduce that themselves and go, okay, yes, this is a problem. Efficiency and time management, it kind of helps because you can go, I haven't really run much. This is what I've done so far. 2 days in, I better pick up the pace a bit. Evidence collection, said at the beginning, this is proof that we did run certain tools and we attempted certain attack vectors. We need the evidence that we at least tried. Knowledge transfer and learning. Now, this is great and very important in this industry. We're always sharing with each other. And when we're doing something on a test and we find something interesting, we get a possibility to internally share with the team. We're always continuously learning. We need to share that with those around us. And it's a natural thing if they share with us and we all become better. There's no competition. And then, of course, it's all come down to the reporting accuracy. We got good notes. We can, write a report more accurate instead of, as I said, I don't have that screenshot. Can I get away with not putting that in? And this is my favourite part, the report writing. Like I said, I can be up at 10 o'clock going, I really should have got this out at 5. But you're sitting there going, I've got to write something off the top of my head. If you've not got a vulnerability database where you just go, click insert this into my template, I just change a couple of screenshots. You can sit there and go, right, I've got to write 5 paragraphs on a thing that I know is an issue. I can't communicate that on writing to the client. How do I do this? And I don't know about you. At that point, I just get brain fog. And I just sit there twiddling my thumbs and then go for a walk and I come back and go, I'll just change that font size instead of sitting there writing that down. But the report, when I first started, my first manager said to me, this is the most expensive PDF someone will ever purchase. And if you see what the billing is at times, you can understand why that is. But this is the end product. The client's not interested in engagement. This is what they're purchasing, and they're purchasing this document. So it's where we can communicate the findings that we've found, help and prioritize the vulnerabilities, because sometimes something might be, this is really bad if this happens, but for someone to go in that attack vector, they have to have like a high skill set. So the likelihood of that actually happening is very small. So should the client focus on that bit? Or should they focus on like a medium sort of vulnerability? But every man and his dog could do that, or a scripted it. So you kind of go, well, that's a bigger priority for you to focus on. So this is where we come in with severities and likelihood and all the boring stuff. If you want to see an outline of an actual report, if you go on Google, you can find and see what an official one actually looks like. Because I never saw one until I had to write my first one. And then you can see how complex they are. Then we've got to provide remediation guidance. It's no good to go, the door's broke. Okay, well, how do I fix it? Oh, I don't know, sure. We have to provide some sort of guidance. Not always a step-by-step. If it's like about some programming they've got to do, change a Java file, that's beyond us. But we can guide them in the right direction, provide some links to some resources, because it's their product and it's so in-depth, only their personal knowledge can kind of fix it. But we need to push them in the right direction to get it fixed. Of course, in some of the engagements, this is help compliance. Some companies need to get tested once a year if it's to do with their insurance policy. So they'll take this document and go to the insurance company. We've been tested these, so what's outlined. Which makes it very important on this note is sometimes you will get pushback from a client, and then that's another thing you've got to deal with. To go, I don't believe this is high, this should be a medium. Like, no, that's the risk rating. Because if it's a high, then they're going to end up issues with their insurance or, their own management and directors. And like, no, that's us. Because say that company got hacked on that high that we moved to the medium, insurance companies come to us going, why did you put that as a high? Why did you put that as medium? Everyone knows it's a high. We're going to make you responsible for this. So it's very important that we report accurately. And all this sort of stuff helps to, facilitate decision making within within their business. Part of them is it helps us establish a baseline. Because if I had tested one web app and I found all these things, I'm like, this is what you should fix, and then you'll get a baseline. They've probably got other web applications got all the same issues. Because it was the same developers that made it, so it made all the same mistakes. And that leads them to, helps them continuously improve their own products. When we come on to my nice client debrief, sometimes I get lucky. I just send off a report on a Friday to get an email going, yeah, thanks, sir. I don't hear him until next year and go, hi, how's it going? I'm like, oh, cool, how's it going? I love those clients. As I'm older, I don't want to talk to people. So the whole point of this is to run through the report, because you get the other end and you look at the report yet. I'm like, no, that's what this meeting's for. And you're like, it's 92 pages. Okay. So you'll walk through, and you'll clarify the findings. Sometimes I have questions on certain findings, or, do we need to fix this, and how do we fix that, and can you fix it for us? Can you advise a product that will help us be better secure? Then you get to discuss the remediation strategies, on what I just touched on. And one of the most important things is building trust and a relationship with the client. Being on the test for 5 days, if I'm not doing the daily call with them, they've got one email from me at the beginning of the test going, I've just started, and then one on the Friday go, I just finished. Here's your report. And that's, there's no building a relationship. And quite often, the clients are looking, it's a test. If it's the first one they've ever done with you, it's the test. We're going to give them a simple test to do. If they do well, and we like them, all the work's coming their way. So this is an important part of building a relationship with these individuals. Then I'm going to go a bit faster because I didn't realise time. Then review, did they find it a success or not? Have a feedback from them going, how did we perform next? Next time, do they want to do a call with us? Want some more emails? Then plan your next steps, like having to do a retest and go from there. Then there's the continuous learning. Right, so we've got the job, we just have to learn every single day. So, you can do many things, go on YouTube, find some documentation online, or sometimes people prefer doing a course. So it's kind of a cycle of pick a course, study, exam, and then you're done. And then I got to do it again. What I will say on this is, sometimes you just hit a wall. Sometimes, I would do 3 courses in a row, and then I don't do anything for 12 months. And I'm way behind. You can only fill in so much time with learning. But if you are interested, there is a page that's been set up. Jeremy, Google him. He's got an interactive doc. Regardless of what kind of sector of cybersecurity you'll go in, he's got a list of most recognised certification. You put your mouse on it, it gives you a rough cost, and I'll let you know again. And then a link. So it's great to find, recognised courses. I'm wrong one. And one last thing that no one tells you, I can see some people, so I know who's a pen tester. There's something called check pen testing. This is off the website, so I'm going to read it because I can't describe it. It's the NCSC's check schemes set standards for penetration testing. Government departments, public sector bodies, and UK's critical national infrastructure organisations can trust. So basically, that's, government bodies, the NHS, Department for Transport, your local council. So what happens is we meet a certain standard to provide to do these tests for them. No pen tester off the street can walk in and go, yeah, we're going to do the pen test on NHS links. It's to make sure that the testers are, meet a certain standard and can deliver the reports and keep it all secure and don't walk into a room like this and go, yeah, so I was at NHS Leeds last week. You wouldn't believe it's kind of do that. So what are the requirements to be check certified? So you have to do one of their professional titles, and you have to hold a minimum of SC clearance. So you'll go through some background checks. I just wanted to bring this up because I've never heard anyone talk about it in fun engagements. So I'm going to go a bit quick now because I'm bad with time. So still interested. If I've not lost you, you're still interested, if you've got friends and family that are interested, this is a different take on how I think you should kind of tackle it. So on your initial training, there's always two great CTF sort of start systems: Hack the Box and Try Hack Me. These are great resources, free, I think, for just standard sort of access. Great things with these are, if you do get stuck, there are a lot of write-ups and walkthroughs. Anyone can jump in and tell me, because I totally forgot the name of the guy. He does Hack the Box. He does the YouTube. Thank you. Thank you very much. He does it on a video. So if you're not great with reading, I get bored reading, you can walk through the video. But he'll also give guidance of why it's like that, why what you do to fix it, and also the different tools that you can kind of use and learn with. And if you become good at those, you can also look at global CTF events. They're kind of the same. You go work in a team, work on your own, make it a bit more fun. They're great to get started. But unfortunately, those are kind of, you get started out, not spending any money or a little bit if you upgrade your access. But unfortunately, there's the gatekeeping within the industry, mainly the HR level and some at the management level. You put those in between them, but without professional certs, they just won't look at you, unfortunately. Some will. It depends on, I found, how they grew up themselves. If they don't believe in certs, they don't have it. If you've got someone that's like, no, you must have this because I got it, then you're going to have that gatekeep. If they're going to check out jobs, you get a clear idea, idea if they're going to have it or not. Unfortunately, OSEX, OSCP, generally that's go-to one I see on all job adverts, unfortunately. There's TCM Security, PMPT. That one's trying to tackle OSEX. I think maybe not seen many in the UK. They're mainly coming out to be accepted only in the US. Networking, big thing for me. LinkedIn. So I'm not using LinkedIn to hook up with other hackers, pen testers, CISOs, recruiters. You go into the job section of LinkedIn or any job site, those are all the jobs that are live. In fact, probably very few of them actually lead to an actual job. It's CV harvesting. You need to hook up with or start following the recruiters because they'll actually post, because it's free, to advertise the jobs. Especially if it's a, getting the ground, graduate, entry level, no experience. You're only going to see them because they're hosting it. It doesn't cost any money. You put it in jobs bit, they're paying money. B-sides conferences, awesome. So I now work at KPMG, and the guy that I know within KPMG, I met at my first B-sides. So I probably wouldn't be at KPMG if it wasn't for him. And seeing their meeting, I'd done a talk, and then meeting each other along the way. And they're great to meet people, make new friends. It's great when I turn up, I'm like, oh, I've met you before, I've not seen you in 3 months. It's just, I'm starting to feel like cheers now when I turn up. Local meet-up groups, very far few between. Some places have them. I think more up this way, I know, what's the one in Glasgow or Edinburgh? They do Thursdays.
Hack Glasgow.
Pardon?
Hack Glasgow.
Hack Glasgow. There we go. Thank you. They're very hard to find. Discord groups. I'm going to go on this one because my first job in IT, in cybersecurity, was a recruiter hunting people down in a Discord group. So if you see things like offensive security, go find their Discord, because that's where he found me. You don't have to be taking any of their courses to access it. Or look for any of the big cybersecurity companies all around the UK, the world. A lot will have their own Discord groups, make friends, connections, jobs, ask for help when you're stuck on stuff, people sharing their new tools, sharing documentation. It's just a wealth of knowledge, meeting people. And Reddit is questionable, but when I first started, I was doing OSCP. There is an OSP thread, and people will go on there like, I'm starting my OSP here. I'm based in India. I'm based in the US. Everyone's starting in 2 weeks, and we're buddy up. So if you're kind of like looking for accountability buddy, then that's the place to be. And then raising your profile, blogging. Blogging's a great one. So what I'd say is, Hack the Box. Everyone, if you've ever done Hack the Box, everyone's got a walkthrough. It's all a copy paste. You all look the same. Do it differently. Write it in a report format. So go find a report template on Google and write it like you was doing a report for the client. You know, I got a local file inclusion. Write it as a thing. You know, put references to go how to fix it. And do it like that. Because then when you're applying for a job, go, here's my blog, here's all my reports that I already like. You pop over in my Hackbox walkthrough that I copied and pasted from yours, and you copied it from me, and now he's copied it. Do it differently, stand out. Or review a technique or a new tool. Even just think there's hundreds of blogs out there. It's just to show a potential employer that you do study and you're interested in this field. GitHub, write scripts. Even if it's basic, just a little bash script, even in there, it just shows that you're interested and you want to kind of progress. One of these. I think this is my 6th or 7th one. I get up here and I'm nervous as hell. I do love it. So a B-side. A lot of them do rookie tracks. A lot of them, if it's your first talk, they'll go, we'll mentor you, send us your idea, we'll let you know if it's good. There is a lot of help. And you meet people. I met someone that offered me a job at a different company through going to B-sides. So you know, there's opportunities there. Local meet-up groups get their very thing. If you can't get a talk accepted somewhere, and it doesn't have to be long, you do 10 minutes. Do a YouTube video. Make it private if you want, but you can share it with, you know, who you're interviewing with. But even if it's 10 minutes, go, I reviewed this talk. And just go through and, you know, show them what you've done. And it just shows that you're interested and you all want to progress, because they want to see, you know, enthusiasm. Can't do that again. I think it's my last one. Yeah, awesome. 2 minutes. Cover letter for a CV. I believe this is what got me my first role. So I spent 20 years in IT support. Okay, well, the CV for wanting to go in cybersecurity isn't really going to look great. So the cover letter lets me tell my story. It shows that you're expressing interested in the actual job. You get to highlight the key skills and relevant qualification. It demonstrates your personality. Explains the unique circumstances. 20 years in IT, I've got to explain why I want to go into cybersecurity with no experience. And it motivates the employer to read the CV. So like, well, they've put time into this. Let's just have a look. I've got a minute, so hard to keep doing that. So this actually is my cover letter. So that's. So I recently passed my OSCP exam. I'm looking to break into InfoSec, and this is why you should kind of look at me. 16 years experience in various IT positions, working with different industries. That's great because you're going to do that in cyber. So this is where you get to put skill sets that you can't put in your actual CV. Interpersonal skills, the ability to communicate verbally with individuals from business support functions to C-level, including CEO and board members. This is when you're doing a scoping course or a debrief. Now the client knows that I can do that. You can be the best hacker in the world, but if you ain't got communication skills, they're not going to hire you because you can't talk to a client. Clear and concise writing skills derived from delivering reports for management and technical documentation for support teams and user-friendly guides for customer base. I can write reports. It's a major part of the thing, and I just explained that. Maybe they don't have to look at the CV. Ability to work in mixed experience teams, sharing knowledge, learning from those around me, as well as leading managing teams. Sometimes on a job I'm leading, sometimes it's my colleague. We're all mixed different experiences. I can get on with everybody. You're working in a team is part of, as I said, sharing the knowledge. A broad understanding of many tech stacks with power of research where needed to implement or resolve business justification. If I had to implement a new piece of software elsewhere, I had to learn it. Which means if I'm testing someone's application or tech, I can go out and research how to break it. And then just, I'm constantly developing, and I talk about my next courses that I'm taking, so they can see my training progression. And I think you just put something like this, and it'll make people take note. They'll go on your CV, well, you've got no cyber experience, but you can do reporting, you can learn, you can manage teams, you're pretty much the personality that we need. You can teach it, you can't teach someone how to be personable. And that is wrapped up with a minute over.